So I'm working on a Kubota here with a Kohler engine on it. I did the head on this thing in my how to fix a seized engine video. You guys can check that out in the top right of your screen if you'd like. But basically the customer had an issue where the carburetor was leaking and he needed a carb clean like every year. And that's because this thing has an EGR, an exhaust gas return, and that goes there. I'll show that to you in a minute. But basically what that does is there's a tube that comes out of the exhaust. It goes into a little breather, and then it has a tube that goes into the carburetor. And then there was also a fuel tank vapor vent line, and that came from the tank and vented all the vapors into the carburetor. So just like how a jerry can, if left in the sun, will kind of swell, and then you open the cap and you hear that psh, well, that's gas vapor. And basically they want to do that for emissions, just route it back into the carb so it gets burnt off again. The problem was that carburetor was discontinued, and I didn't want to get a rebuild kit for it because, again, with the EGR and everything else gumming up the carb, he pretty much needed a carb clean every year. So what I went ahead and did was ordered a carb that didn't have any of that. So this is an official Kohler branded carburetor. It's brand new, and the only thing I've had to replace is this little plastic clip here that's for the throttle. This does not have an air fuel mixture screw, so it's set to wherever it's set, and that's it. I can't do anything about that. There is probably a mixture screw in there and it's set, or that's just a Welch plug and they don't even have one in there. I'm not too sure. But basically this is same size, so the length from bolt hole to bolt hole is the same. The opening is the same. Literally it's an identical carb, except on the other one, and I'll show you some pictures, it has a tube coming for the EGR and the fuel tank vent line. So basically what I'm doing is just putting a newer carb that's for the same horsepower engine. It's just a different compliance. So I had a sticker here somewhere that said this engine was registered as a 2 out of 10, 10 being the least clean burning and 0 being the best, and this rated a 2, and that's with all of this stuff, and that's basically for a California emission. So I'm not sure if this is an American unit or not. I'm here in Canada, and I told my customer, I said, listen, you can just unbolt that, and then I'm going to put a plug on the muffler. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. But basically this is just a simple way of getting rid of all these problems, because with the EGR, you're routing your exhaust gas back into your carburetor, and that's going to carbon up your carburetor over time, and it's going to dirty it up and have your machine running not as well as it should be, because it's going to be dirtying your carburetor more and more. So basically by doing this simple swap, all it has is a throttle, the choke, and then it has a fuel hookup. Here's our anti-backfire device, which I've just gone ahead and cut and hooked up a little butt connector down there, and that goes to the hot, and then there's our ground that will be bolted to the head somewhere. I got to figure that out. And then after that, pretty much it should run, but I have to see. I've also done a new fuel filter too, and then I'm going to put some fresh fuel in it, and then once I get it running, then I'll change the oil and the oil filter as well. But the issue was that in the previous video that I did, the how to fix a seized engine, the solenoid was seized in the up position, so we just cut it. He said he was okay with that, and we put right on his invoice that you have to throttle down the machine and then shut it off, and it won't backfire. But if you forget to do that and you leave it in the high RPM and you go to shut your machine off, it will definitely backfire, because there's unburnt fuel going through and hitting the hot exhaust, and it will backfire. So basically what this does is when you shut your machine off, it puts this little solenoid up into the main jet and shuts off the main jet, so that the machine does not suck in any more fuel. And you can see a video of me testing one of those. If you'd like to test one in the top right of your screen, I'll post that video there. But yeah, this is just a simple way of getting rid of all of that emission stuff. It's not really the way the manufacturer would go about it, but the carburetor that was on this machine, I talked directly to a Kohler spokesperson for parts, and they said that carburetor is discontinued. This is a 2015, and you know, we're still in 2018, so obviously they've had issues with it and they've just totally discontinued it. So again, this carburetor, I'll get you the part number for this, and we're going to fire this thing up and it's going to run awesome. So here's the model number for the carb. So that's a 2085333S. So the guy from Kohler was recommending a 98S, but it turns out that was the wrong one, because when I checked the 98S, it did not have the two little tubes for the emissions. So the one that I actually needed, I couldn't actually get a code on it, so that's it. You just buy one of these and you disconnect your EGR and your vent tube, and that's it, you're good to go. Now before I tighten anything up, I'm just going to be checking my linkages to make sure that everything works, choke works. We're going to test throttle, so I'm going to go up with the throttle here. I can see that's working as well. The way to check that, because it runs off a governor, is you just want to give it a pull and make sure it snaps back on high RPM, and then when you go back down to low RPM, it should be a lot looser, so that means that the throttle is working as it should. I got all new gaskets on here as well, so there's gaskets front and back. I'll have part numbers for everything. I also took the exhaust off and put a new exhaust gasket on there, just for the sake of having all new gaskets. Okay, now with your key in the ignition, you're going to turn it and you're going to listen for the click. So I've hooked up my ground wire here just to that bolt there, and like I said, I've already hooked up my hot. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my key, and you should hear the click of this anti-backfire solenoid. So that's it. So it's working as it should. So now we can put our air filter back on and get this thing back together. So I got my muffler here, and this is the tube for the EGR. So this is called an exhaust gas recirculation or exhaust gas return. So what you're doing is you're returning or recirculating some of the exhaust gas back into the carburetor. And again, that's just for emissions. It's to minimize the bad stuff coming out of here, but what that does is it puts some of the bad stuff back into your carburetor, because you have to remember that goes directly into your carb, and it's going to gum up your carb even more. And then here's that line from the fuel tank vent. So basically it hooked up, and I just unplugged it, and then what I did was I just routed it through the frame here for now. I'll end up checking that after, but basically it comes wrapped with the fuel line here. You guys can see there's my new fuel filter. So it just comes here. Normally that goes into that other tube out of the carburetor, and I just vented it through the frame for now. Now this is the main EGR component, so this thing bolts directly to where those two little silver bolts were that I showed you, and this line comes from the muffler, and then it goes into this little breather. So it does filter out any like sediment or debris that might shoot through here. Then it recirculates the gases only back into the carburetor. But again, you're putting exhaust gases and carbon into a carburetor that is only supposed to have fuel in it, and you're trying to keep that as clean as possible. When you're talking about something like this on a vehicle where you're routing exhaust gases back into the intake manifold, and it has its own, separate fuel injectors, you're not really dirtying up a carburetor, because cars and trucks don't have carburetors on them anymore. So again, something like this, even though it improves emissions on a machine, it makes you require more carburetor cleans, and you're just going to have a rough time, cleaning your carburetor all the time, because this is going to make it more dirty. Okay, so I got my muffler here, and what I've done is I've taken this little end piece right here, and I put it into my vise, and I just kind of squished it down, and then I just took my welder and laid just a little tiny bead across there just to seal it up, and that'll do a good enough job. So I can get the muffler on now, and that'll be sealed up, and it won't be venting exhaust gas back to the engine bay. So it should look a little something like this when you're done. I was thinking about putting a bolt in there and just threading it in tight, but again, this is pressurized, and even though it vents some of the exhaust out there, there's still going to be some pressure here, so I just figured welding it was the best way to seal it up so that I knew it wouldn't leak. Okay, so she fires with some carb cleaner and then dies, so I'm definitely going to have to replace the fuel pump because it's not pumping fuel, so I'm going to get on that right now. If you guys can see, it is dry, which means we're vapor locked. So what I'm going to do is take a little funnel and my no spill jerry can here, and I'm just going to hold this up, and we're going to do what's called priming the line. So I'm going to get fuel into there because we're running into a vapor lock issue, which the pump's trying to pump, but it won't pump because it's just running air. So you need to get it wet basically and primed with fuel, and then it'll pump, and then it'll fire, and if it starts running under its own power, I'll go ahead and put the old fuel pump back on, and then I'll know that they both work, or either leave the replacement on if the other one does not work. And notice that it doesn't backfire when we shut it off, and that's because our anti-backfire solenoid is now working. So this carb swap is awesome. This is the best way to solve the issue of an EGR and everything else. You just disconnect the EGR and you run a carb that doesn't need any of that. Okay, so now that I know this thing runs, I've drained the oil out using my Pella 6000 oil extractor. I've taken the oil drain cap off here and nothing came out, so I know that all the oil out of the engine is out. I've put some fresh Teflon tape onto there and tighten that back up, and now I'm just going to use a little aluminum pan here and put it underneath my oil filter here just to catch whatever's in there, and then we'll prime up a new oil filter and get this thing put back together. Okay, so I got my oil filter off and I just used a little tool that I bought here. This is a oil filter wrench, and we use these to remove oil filters, not to put them on because you don't want to go too tight. A lot of people, they over tighten them. So you just use this to break it loose, and then you can just go by hand. And when you put a new oil filter in, you want to fill it up, and then you want to get a little bit of oil around your gasket there just to make sure that it doesn't tear and that it goes on nicely. And again, don't over tighten them. Okay, so I got 1.5 liters of 10W30 into this engine, and I have right here a brand new Kohler, this is Sten's number, or your Kohler number up there, air filter. So a brand new air filter, kind of just snaps on like that, makes a nice little seal. They got a little groove that runs all the way around the air filter, and it kind of just pressure fits itself and holds itself on there. And you guys saw it runs perfect. So disconnect your EGR and your vent tube, buy one of these, and that's it, you're good to go.